Hey guys, it's Vince with Mastering the Method, and today I've got two extruders on my bench and I am going to swap one for the other. Let me explain. This 2XA extruder is the extruder I did the video on where the hot end was mounted incorrectly, and you can still see, let me just get a pointer here, where that mounting nipple hole is. It's mounted incorrectly. So I've got this 2XA extruder, and Makerbot saw that video and naturally sent me another extruder, which I thought was fantastic. The only issue is they sent me the wrong one. This is a 2XA and they sent me the 1XA as if I was printing ABS with it, which I'm not. I'm using the experimental extruder. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how quick and easy it is to switch from one to the other. So naturally, I want to have the 2XA board inside the 1XA extruder, which is new. Another thing I really love, if you're buying your method now, I'm sure they're doing this, they're putting these covers over the nozzles, which is really exceptional. It keeps any of your hot end free of any filament or any type of debris, and that's fantastic. I'm going to show you now how to do this, and I've discussed this previously, but I'm going to discuss it again. These are the tools you're going to require, is a Torx T9, and you're also going to need a Torx T6. Let's jump right in and get it done. So what we're going to do first is we're going to open up this guy. I'm just going to pull off two screws on the top where the connectors are, where it actually plugs into the printer. And I'm going to also pull these out on the bottom and also here. Very, very low tension screws, guys. These are self-tapping and nylon. You do not want to have any problems with being abrupt. Okay, here's the board that we need, this and this. So how we're going to do this carefully, I'm going to put this part over here. I'm just, once again, you can see right there the two screws. Very, very easy. And they are different head screws, so take notes on that. You can see I have different compartments here, so I'm separating them. You've got a flat head here, and you also have the more rounded head right here, Torx. So just keep that in mind. Don't want to get them confused. Right here. Now we have our two connectors here that plug in, and what we want to do is carefully use a fine tip tool to come in here, and you want to release these two prongs on each side. Each one of these have that. So what I'm going to do, I have two. I'm going to show you how we do this. Lay the extruder like this, and I'm just going to come in here carefully. I'm going to release this, because we are not going to need it. Now, what you see on mine right there is actually, you see that little liquid, that's actually deoxit, which I put on all my extruders to make sure they're protected. That's not going to hurt anything. Totally non-conductive. It's contact enhancer, made by Keg Industries. So taking this off too. Now, once you have your board free, you can see I have both of the connectors removed. I'm just going to remove the secondary board. Okay, you only want to remove the top screws here, guys. That's where we want to remove 1, 2. Again, you got your LED right there for the extruder. Once that's done, this whole assembly should come out. So again, this is all we need to convert that extruder. So this is now done. I'll screw this bottom portion in, and we'll go right to the next step. Now guys, if you encounter something like this where you need an extruder in a pinch, this will save you massive amount of time or perhaps money, because again, depending on what extruder you need, to swap them out is very quick and easy. So just put this over here right now. Now we have the new extruder. So I've got all the hardware from the other one. So what I'm going to do is, off camera, I'm just going to screw that in. Okay guys, I've got the extruder all put back together as far as the hardware, and this is the first one I'm taking the board off of. And I want you to pay close attention to this area right here, where is the switch triggering mechanism. You can see it right here. And you don't want to turn this over, because if you do, it'll fall out. So if you're doing this yourself, pay close attention to all your parts, because it's very easy to get them confused or get them lost. And that's why I say just pay close attention to it. So we're all set here. I'm going to work on the second extruder now. The way to convert into it, that's the 1XA. So once again, switching over to T9, I believe. And we are going to go to work. I'm right here. Now this fits amazingly well. Just squeeze, should come right off. There we go. And you can see that hole is set perfectly to go right around that nozzle. These are awesome, by the way. So what we're going to do here now, switch over again, back to that T6. And we're going to start at the bottom on this one. Just undo. Now I do have 2 more screws in here from the other extruder. Not to worry, they will be saved because I'm using them for the top when you mount on the new top case to once again identify the extruder. So no worries there. Let me start here. Right there. One. And one more. Okay, good. Just gonna see if I can loosen this. It should pop right off. There we go. Once again, perfect boards. All we're gonna do is swap them out. Now, to make sure there's no confusion, you may want to label yours. Now, I'm working with mine already, so I'm putting it over there. Plus, I'm recording myself, so I can always go back and see. Just pay attention to that. Once again, we got round screws on the top for the top board. That's out. And now I've got these 2 top ones that need to come out too, but we're going to unplug everything carefully. Right there. Awesome. And we'll just take this one off carefully. It's the same method. Very carefully just pull, you release. Everything looks good. Now we just are going to isolate our time right on these 2 screws. We'll get that secondary board removed. 1, 2. Okay. Now, of course, if I want to transform this extruder, I could do that, or just save that board, label it, so you know exactly what it is, of course. And now we're going to come over here, we'll make sure everything looks good as it should, and it does. And we're just going to come in here. Done. So first we'll start on the main board, and then we'll go to the top. Once again, I always recommend going backwards with a self-tapping screw so you know you're not going to cross-thread. See right there? That just saved me. As soon as it makes contact, slight pressure, very, very little pressure. Do not need to tighten this with a ham fist, so to speak. Done? Now we'll put our plugs back in. But before I do, actually, like I said, I always use Deoxit, and this is Deoxit Gold. If you haven't checked this stuff out, guys, I highly recommend it. NASA uses it. I use it on all my systems I build. Come in here, just go like that. Boom, boom, that's done. And this one, I'll do it on the second one as well. Don't worry if you get it anywhere. It's certainly safe to go on all plastic and whatnot. It's not going to cause any problems. Right in. And now we'll do this one. And have this little guy, when you get little terminals like this, you can see the 2 contact points right there. You can drop a drop right on there, and also it will penetrate. So watch, I'm just putting it in, done. And you can also see if you can get it in that little hole right there. There you go, because this is a little brush. And I just put it through. We're good. That'll do it. And again, come over here, see if we can maneuver it. You guys with big fingers like me are going to have trouble with this. You just want to take your time, carefully maneuver it, and it will work. Get it over there. There we go. Once it's in, we just take our secondary pointer and lock it. Done. Wipe that too. Keep everything clean as if you were never there. That's your goal. Check your clips, make sure everything is in. No wire stress on anything. Everything looking good. Now, we're good to go. Gonna pop on our new cover to properly identify the extruder. That's done. Now what we'll do, cut that. Okay guys, now that we've got that done, we're going to work on the top board. Very simple. Once again, same exact process. Very carefully, rotate it. Right there. Make sure that's lined in. I highly recommend using a magnetic tip on your screwdriver. It makes things much easier. You can see it's mounted now. Everything is good there. I'm going to apply some deoxit to those terminals. Real quick. Brush. And now they're protected. Okay. That's all done. Now we're ready for our top cover. So we're just going to slide it in. Everything is looking good. Put our base on first. Again, I do have some extra screws here, 2 of them from the other extruder. And we're just loading and go. Once again, low pressure, guys. We're not screwing in lug nuts to a car. So this is doesn't need any real tension on these. We go in real light. So we go 1. There we go 2. Right in. And there we go. There's the extruder. We're all set. Now, we're going to put our protective cover. Just slide it on. Should just lock right in. Make sure we got it on correctly. We do. Right in. Snaps. You see your nozzle's nice and clean. Everything's got proper clearance. Now, switch over again. And we're going to lock in with our nozzle screw. A little bit of tension on that, very little. Don't got to go crazy. The one thing I do like on these is the screw goes through the cover. The early release model that I have literally came off when I was printing, and I removed it completely. But now I would definitely use these because they actually put the screw through the actual cover, which is the right way to do it. So it's always secured in place. I'm going to now cut this, and I'll go over to the printer, and I'll show you it installed, and I'll show you how it's recognized. Okay guys, I'm in front of the printer. This is the extruder we changed. I'm going to show you how we do this. Naturally, we're just going to drop it in. Very, very simple. Boom. Everything is clean. No pressure. I'm going to close the clip. Let's see if everything worked. Now, of course, you're going to get the message to calibrate extruders because, of course, we just switched everything, so it must be done. We're going to skip it this time. Let's see if I'm correct. 2XA, guys. There you go. So if you want to convert an extruder, it's that simple. If you're just changing the board, if you're changing other components, again, you're just going to rework that through the process. But other than that, you see this work perfectly. And now I have literally a brand new 2XA extruder from a 1XA. So again, guys, I want to thank you all for your support. Please keep the comments coming. If you like the channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Take care.